Okay, good evening and welcome to the Member Retention Workshop. I'm your host, Miles Grant of Miles More Members. Welcome to this workshop. Look, if you're a gym, a health club, fitness facility who currently has all the members that you could possibly need, you don't have any people cancelling, and your staff are performing above and beyond the call of duty every single day, then what on earth are you doing on this class? You definitely don't need this. This is really for you if you are currently a gym owner, a gym operator, a gym manager who finds yourself with members cancelling, you're not getting enough sales, you're not hitting the targets you want to hit, maybe your staff are underperforming. Then in this web class, we're going to teach you some really common sense, but not necessarily common practice ways that you can make your gym work more effectively and be more profitable and get more of all the other stuff that you want as well. So in this class, we're going to be looking at really a combination of two things. We're going to be looking at why people join and the psychological elements as to why people join. We're also going to be looking at why people cancel. And I'm going to really delve into a bit of psychology with you tonight as to why those two things happen. Who am I? Well, I'm founder of Miles More Members, as I said. I work with gyms such as brands such as Fitness First, Fit for Less, By Energy, Active for Less, and Easy Gym, along with some hotels such as Village Gyms and Mercure Hotels, teaching them some really common sense ways to provide a better member experience through leadership and a combination of that with practical psychology. So that's me. Background in the gym industry since I was a kid. My mum ran a gym from when I was 12 years old. That led me to work with a company called Creative Fitness Marketing, who you may have heard of. If you haven't heard of CFM, then Dave Wright, the founder, creator of MyZone, was the head of CFM for a long time. So I worked with CFM for 8 years and sold in excess of 15,000 memberships in 300 health clubs all around the country. So that's how I kind of got into this line of work. I have a podcast called the Gym Sales Podcast. I have a book that's written but isn't published yet. Forgive me for that. I've sinned. Called the Gym Profit Formula. And I also run certification trainings for gyms and personal trainers, teaching them how to negotiate and communicate more effectively. I also do some coaching that's kind of a bit more groovy in my spare time. Clients such as people that have starred in movies like The Matrix, the lady Carrie-Anne Moss, her stunt double. Danielle has been a coaching client of mine. And Tony Robbins, who's known probably as the world's best known life coach. He works with people like Bill Clinton and Serena Williams. I've done some work with him and ran some events for him too. So a little bit about me. My reason why, because I think it's really important to start with why, Simon Sinek says that in his book, is a few years ago, probably about 12 years ago, I was running a gym promotion whilst with CFM, and a lady came in who wanted to have a tour, and she was quite effectively, in my mind, quite rude at the time. And to cut a very long story short, we had a tour, I showed around, and I managed to kind of really dig into the real reason she was there, to which she kind of got quite teary-eyed and upset, and she said, you know, I need to lose weight because me and my husband have not been physically intimate for several months, and I'm scared that he's going to leave or he's going to have an affair, and then she just broke down. To cut a long story short, she joined, then a few days later her husband joined, and the happy ending to that story is that I know that there's still members of that gym because I still know the owner, Declan, of that gym, and I'm happy to say they're still married as well. So that's kind of a personal reason why for me. I am a big believer that as fitness professionals, we are the first line of defense. I think we can save lives, save marriages, and save relationships and so much more. And I think it's really our duty, our obligation, and our responsibility to really see this as more than just a job, you know. So if that's what you see it as, then, you know, I'm here to kind of get you to think about a deeper reason why. So that's my why. So let's dive straight into the class, shall we? So really, we're going to look at effectively why people join and why people cancel, because that's really going to be the clue to retention. Give you a little bit of science. I'm trained in a practical psychology called NLP, stands for Neuro-Linguistic Programming. It really is a practical application of how the mind works and how we get what we focus on. So to give you an example of this in practice, so that for those of you that are wanting to know how this actually works, then, I want you to not think of a pink elephant. Now, when I say the word not, your mind doesn't process that word, so immediately you think of a pink elephant. And if you're not now thinking of a pink elephant, you had to first think of a pink elephant before you could not think of one. So that's really a clue that everything that's happening around us, we are choosing to focus on. If it's raining and you choose to focus on the fact that the weather's not very good, that may be a different focus to, say, people in Africa who are experiencing a drought and a famine, who've not seen rain for 6 months. Now all of a sudden it starts raining, they're going to be in the street dancing in their pants like it's Christmas, right? So you get the point. So you get what you focus on. And really what I want to do today is to get you to focus on something that you may not be focusing on that could have a really positive impact on your ability to get people to stay at your gym long term. So one of the elements we're going to focus on is the 6 human needs. I've stolen this from mentor Tony Robbins, who says that we all have 6 primary needs that drive us. And I'm going to put this in the context of your gym members tonight. So we're going to look at the 6 human needs. We're also going to look at the fact that there are 4 member types. So this comes from Tetramap, which is putting communication into nature. So we're going to look at Tetramap and how there are effectively 4, there's only 4 types of member that come to your gym, and we're going to look at what those 4 are and really teach you how to communicate more effectively with each of those types. Let's first start with why we do what we do, which is the human needs. The picture on the right, you have Osama bin Laden, who's apparently was an evil man, a terrorist dictator, and on the right you have the seen as wonderful humanitarian Mother Teresa. What is the difference between the 2 people? Well, who knows? Effectively, it's hard to really tell, other than we perceive one to be good and one to be bad. But what you've got to know is that both these people, including ourselves, are all driven by 6 human needs. Osama bin Laden had a human need to commit terror atrocities. Mother Teresa had human needs to serve a greater good in the world. But what you've got to know is that both those sets of human needs are exactly the same. It's the way that we interpret them and put them out into the world, and that the meaning that we associate to those needs. So really what we're going to do is kind of show you how every single one of your members and every single one of the members of your team that work at your club has these 6 needs. And if you understand what these 6 needs are, you're going to be more effective as a leader. You're more likely to get your team to do what you want them to do because you're going to communicate based on their needs. And you're more likely to get people that are your members to stay because you're going to help them to get their needs met. So let's look at the 6 needs. So the 6 needs of a customer or of a, let's say, an employee. So let's look at what those needs are in relation to your customers, your members. So need number 1 is certainty. So everybody that comes to your gym needs to feel certain. They need to feel certain that they're going to get results. They need to feel certain that they're going to get a positive experience. They need to feel certain. So everybody that comes to your gym, your first challenge is to make people feel certain that they're going to see results, certain that they're going to feel good, certain that they're going to get the kind of body and the health that they want. The second human need is variety. Now, most people that will cancel the gym because of a lack of motivation or because they get bored fundamentally didn't get enough variety. So it's really important that you, on a regular basis, are assessing your members, are providing them with ongoing measurable support, maybe even encouraging them to get out of their comfort zone, to try new things in your club, to try new workouts, have the confidence to do squats when all they usually do is hog a treadmill. It's really important that you encourage variety because we all need variety. We all love to get home after a day at work. We love the certainty of the home, but we also can't wait to count down the fact that it's, 58 days to our holiday in Cyprus. So we want that. And then at the end of the holiday, we can't wait to get home. So we need certainty and we need variety. We also need significance. So your members need significance. Now, what this means is we just want to be noticed, we want to be acknowledged, and we want to feel important. So even if a person that comes to your gym, you say, Miles, but what does this mean for Steve, who just hogs the treadmill and never says a word when he comes in and leaves? Well, what I can tell you is that Steve probably has significant other, maybe even children. And when he gets home and his little girl runs at him when he walks in the door, he wants to feel important in his child's eyes. So it doesn't matter if it seems on the surface that people don't want to feel acknowledged and significant and don't want to stand out and they just want to blend in. Everybody wants to feel significant. So it's really important that you make your members feel important, make them feel significant. Fourth, connection. An easy one to really know whether someone is deeply needing this is because a lot of people do group exercise, work out in groups that want to feel connected. Now, even if somebody is working out by themselves on the treadmill, you could argue if connection wasn't important to them, they could just buy a treadmill and just run in their living room. So everyone that comes to a gym environment to some extent wants connection. So it's really important that you make sure that you are giving people the ability to connect, maybe introducing members to each other, maybe just going over and just having a conversation with a member to check that they're getting results and that they're enjoying themselves. People want to feel connected. You know, human beings are different to polar bears in the wild who will happily go off for 18 months at a time and be by themselves. We don't work like that as human beings. We want to feel connected. So it's really important that you provide your members with connection. Number 5 is growth. Everybody wants to see the before and after. You know, everybody wants to know that if I'm going to join the gym, I want to see results. I want to look good in the mirror. I want to feel good. I want to know that I feel fitter within myself, whether it's an internal thing in terms of feeling or whether it's an appearance thing. Everybody wants to grow. Everybody wants to know that if I'm going to be here and commit and come here at 6 in the morning when it's raining, I want to know that I'm going to get results. So it's really important that people see growth if you want to keep them long term. A lot of people will cancel the gym just because they don't see measurable results. So one of the key things that you must do, even if it seems that members that are there don't care about this, you must provide people with some way of measuring their progress so that they can see that they are getting results. And need number 6 is contribution. What this means is we all have a need to want to help and make a difference in other people's lives. So I recommend in this particular need that you think about maybe if your team right now are not as inspired to step up and serve beyond the call of duty. What I need you to know is that everybody needs to contribute. Everybody has a need to want to serve and make a difference in people's lives. If you have people there that are working at your club that this just generally isn't something that's front of mind for them, they're very much like, what's in it for me? Then you maybe want to think about your next hire being someone who clearly speaks about, you know, when you ask the question, you know, why are you here? You know, oh, it's because I want to help people. I want to make a difference. I want to see people achieve their goals and so on. So it's really important that contribution and wanting to help people and serve people is at the forefront of everything that you do. Because if people will know if you're in the business of running your health club because you're in it primarily for profit, if that's the primary driver for your business, then it isn't going to be sustainable long term. It's got to be about making a difference in people's lives first and foremost if you want to have people stay long term. So what I would like for you to do is I'd like for you to just kind of think about, now that we've gone through that model, we all have these 6 human needs. They all will run in a different order. So we all have these needs. I want you to kind of think about, what is your primary need? Like what would you say if you could guess what you think your top 2 needs are, what do you think they are? Now, full transparency, when I first went through and did this process, because there's a full test that you can do that I can share with you to actually work out, scientifically proven, what your human need order is. My human need order, my primary need was growth. It was all about growth, attending seminars, attending courses and getting mentoring and getting coached, Tony Robbins, all that kind of stuff. So all about growth. That was like my primary need. And it changed for me when I met my now wife, Sati, where when I recently did this test, it showed that actually connection was my highest human need. And now I will actually sacrifice growth for the benefit of connection with my wife. We've got a child on the way, and I'm sure that connection to other people and to my child and to Sati is only going to grow stronger. So have a think about what you think your highest human need is. One of the things that has been proven is that when we make contribution and connection, our highest human need, it actually helps to automatically meet all our other needs. Meaning, when we put focus on helping other people at the front of our being, we get certainty in ourselves, we get variety, we get significance, and we also get growth. So it's really important to know that you can change this. You can change your need order. The first step really tonight is just to think about what do you think are your top 1 or 2. So that's the human needs. If you want to dive deeper into this, you can. I can, if you email me, I'm happy to jump on a call and go through this even deeper. I obviously run workshops on this. This is really just a summarized overview tonight. But have a think about your order. Just think about, what are your top 2 at the moment? And then think about, if it's not contribution and connection as your top 2, think about what would you need to do as a business owner, as a leader. What would you need to do to make changes just for you, not for your team, but just for you, to make contribution and connection your top 2. So that's the human needs. Okay, now we're going to look at the 4 gym member types. So this is Tetramap. So Tetramap is basically plays on nature for communication. And what effectively Tetramap is saying is that a great way symbolically to think about a human being is to think about the environment. For the environment to work, we obviously need the earth, we need air to breathe, we need water, and we need fire, or we need the sun. And so what's really important for you to know about this particular part of this webinar is that we're not saying here, as some of the other personality profile systems that you may have experienced, you may have come across things such as DISC profile and Myers-Briggs. If you've come across those things before, those things have their place and are amazing. What's really useful about Tetramap is it really is alluding to the fact that we need all elements to exist, and that in actual fact, although I'm going to share with you that there's effectively 4 gym member types, that doesn't mean that one person is air, or one person is earth, or one person's fire. We are all these elements. I actually will, if you email me, I will send you a test. It takes about 30 seconds, which will show you which elements you are most highest in. When I first went through this, it was glaringly obvious to me why I was those 2. So let's go through them now, and you'll start to understand what I mean. So type 1 is what we call earth. So earth types, people that are in your gym who are more earth, you'll probably start to think about them now. If you start to think about the characteristics of this person, or start to think about someone in your mind who you think fits this profile, earth people are driven, direct, bold, and decisive. So you probably find that a person who is a member of your gym who's very earthy will be the kind of person who comes in for a workout, maybe at the same time every single day, does the same workout every single day, doesn't really have small talk with anyone, not because they don't want to, but because they're there for a very clear, defined purpose. They want to get in, they want to get their result, and they want to get out. So that's really what an earth person will be like. So have a think about who you think about is an earth person. So think about that. Then we've got a type 2, which is air. So our air personality types are very analytical. They like detail, they like specifics, and they like logic. So in the world away from fitness, an air type would be someone like an accountant. So people that like numbers and like data. So you'll find that people that are air types probably wear, kind of a Fitbit, or they have some kind of measurable technology like a MyZone watch, and they log their calories in MyFitnessPal, or they have a training diary. These type of people are people that are very into specific details, into logic, and they probably similar to Earth in some respects. Obviously, they want to get a specific result. They want to get in at a certain time and get out, and they're very much about the logic. Like, if I join this gym, what result am I going to expect? How soon should I expect? I want to lose 3 stone. How soon should I expect to see that weight loss? And they're really into calories and tracking their weights and their workouts and all that kind of stuff. So air types are very similar to Earth, but probably more detail, analytical, logic. Like, when I went through the science bit earlier in this webinar, if I'd gone off on a tangent and kind of gone a bit fluffy and a bit woo-woo, I'd have lost some of you. And if I'd have lost you, that would have been probably because you're quite air. You know, you're very much like, just give me the details, just give me the logic, don't give me the fluff. But then there's certain people that would actually like the what I call the fluff, and that probably wouldn't be so much the air people. Now, the people that would like the fluff, the people that like to talk about emotions and feelings, are people that are what we call high water. These people listen to their gut instinct. They're all about feelings, emotions, and connection. People that are high water, probably doing group exercise. When they come in through the door, they want to talk to you. They make eye contact. They want to have a conversation. But the kind of people that if you told them they couldn't go into a class because they're late, they'd probably get a little bit upset about it, not for any reason other than the fact that they're just very much in touch with their feelings, right? So people that are high water, you probably want to think about, you know, who is someone at your gym that is high water, because that person probably is the kind of person that would love a hello and goodbye. That makes them feel really special, and feelings are important to this person. Type number 4 are fire personalities. These types of people, you can probably think about them. They love the fun, the positive. They love things that are high energy, and they're very enthusiastic. You're going to find that your group exercise instructors, most of them will probably be quite high fire. You can probably think about certain members in your gym right now who are larger than life. You know when they're in the gym, you know exactly, you don't know where they are, but you can hear them. These people are what we call high fire. And it's really important to, when you speak to people that are high fire, that you speak to them in a way that matches their energy and their enthusiasm, or at least models it to some extent if you want to have a great relationship with them. So which type is most like you? That is the question for you to think about. I first went through this test, and just so you know, there is a test, and I'm going to give you my email at the end of the web class, and you can send me your email. You can send me an email and I'll send you the test. I found out that I was very high fire. I'm very much a people person. I love to connect with people. I'm very much in touch with my emotions and feelings. So fire was my primary and water was my secondary. The great thing about the test is it doesn't mean that I'm not earthy or I'm not like air, but actually going through the test, it made me realize that maybe if I want to communicate and get on better with earth and air types, then I need to adopt more of those characteristics. So for instance, if I'm speaking to, let's say, a CEO who is very earthy, because a lot of CEOs are very earthy, then I know that I need to change my communication to match that profile. Otherwise, I'm not probably going to get the result that I want. So the key thing I want you to do now is just to kind of think about, if you were to kind of pick, based on what I've just went through, which one or which two do you think are most like you? Which two do you think are most like you? Just have a think about that for a minute. Which two do you think are most like you? And then start to think about, why do you think you're like that? You know, have a think about why you think you're like that. Like I said, I'm going to send you the test so you can do it, and then you can actually establish which two you actually are. But I wouldn't be surprised if you are most like the elements that you think you are. So here's some real life examples which will really just help you to think about your existing members and maybe even some members of your team. And this should be really useful. So this is Paula. These are real life examples. So Paula says, when I'm at the gym, I need to know that I'm going to get results in the shortest time possible. I have to be in and out due to work and family commitments. If you were to guess, which type do you think Paula is most like? Have a think about which type you think Paula is most like. If you haven't already, you probably guessed it. Paula is very much an earth personality, very, very much earth, maybe a little bit of air. She's talking about getting results in the shortest time possible. That's very much an air trait. And she's saying, I need to know that I'm going to get results. That's very direct. That's very much an earth-based profile. This is Stephen. Stephen says, when I'm working out, I want my workouts to be fun. I like to enjoy myself. Otherwise, I get bored easily. I also enjoy the social element. This suggests that Stephen is very high fire because he wants the workouts to be fun. Remember, the key word is fun. Enjoy, he says as well. And he gets bored easily. High fire people do have short attention spans. He also enjoys the social element, so that makes me think that he potentially is high water as well. Maxine, this is Maxine. Maxine said, when I visit the gym, it's always at the same time each day. I always arrive at 3 p.m. and I need to be out at 4 as I pick up my daughter at 4:30. I always plan my workouts in advance. If you were to guess, which personality type do you think Maxine is? If you hadn't guessed it, Maxine is probably high air because she's very much talking about specific times, 4 p.m., 3 p.m., daughter picked up at 4:30. Always plan my workouts in advance, probably earth as well, but very much high air. Then you've got Louise. Louise says, it's really important to me that I feel comfortable in a gym environment. I need to know that I'm not going to be laughed at when I work out, as I'm rather shy. Have a think about which type do you think Louise is. If you haven't already guessed it, you're probably guessing that Louise is high water. Louise talks about being shy, not wanting to be laughed at. Really important that she feels comfortable. Remember, water is very much feelings and emotions, so that would suggest that Louise is high water. So one of the bonuses that I'm going to give you for attending this class tonight is what we call the 4 member types workbook. So I'm going to, when you email me at the end of the session, I will send you that. That has the Tetramap test inside it, so you can share that with your team, and you can do the actual test yourself, print it off, and then it will reveal what type you are. The real benefit, the real power to this model is when you understand yourself, you are able to better understand your team. And when you understand your team, you and your team are more likely to understand your members. So let's say you have 3 employees that are high fire and you're high earth. If you speak in your direct earthy way to people that are high fire, you may not get the message across. If you communicate with more energy that is more like a fire, you're more likely to elicit the response that you want. So the key thing that I'm saying here is, as a leader, your responsibility is to become chameleon-like, which means it's your responsibility as the leader to change and adapt your communication style to meet the needs of your members and your team. Your inability to do that will elicit, therefore, responses that you don't want, such as ineffective workplace performance. Your ability to communicate in the way that you want, i.e., if you're very high earth, for instance, or let's say that you're very high air. If you're very high air and you're very much into details and logic, and you throw that detail and logic at a person who's high water, who really is thinking about the feelings of the members and their feelings and their emotions, you're not going to get the same result out of that person if you speak in your air logical way. So that workbook, I'm going to send that to you once you drop me an email. I'm also going to give you a daily productivity tool. So this is a tool that I use with all my clients. If you have, if you have a team of people that work with you, and you want them to be more productive every single day, and you want them to have accountability, I've got a really cool planner, which is based on what I call the commit to 3 concept, where basically you get each of your team to commit to what success would look like at the end of the day, what their 3 commitments are relating to that target, and also their own personal goals for the next 12 months, and also the reason why those goals are important. Really good tool, because then you're encapsulating the business outcomes for the day, plus getting the person to think about their personal goals. And obviously, once you line the 2 up, you're more likely to get effective employee workplace. You're more likely to get people to work the way you want them to work. And what I'm also going to do as a third bonus is I'm going to give you a private strategy session. So this is where I'm going to get on the phone, and we're going to get on Skype with me, and happy to do it with a handful of your team for 45 to 60 minutes, where we're going to basically analyze and dissect what we've shared in this session. It's a chance for you to ask questions. It's a chance for you to be coached by me. Like I said, I do work with people like Tony Robbins. It's a chance for you to be coached by me and to have yourself heard on any challenges that you're currently experiencing on member retention. So all you've got to do to claim your bonuses is to email me at miles@milesmorecustomers.com. That's miles@milesmorecustomers.com. You send me an email and just say, something along the lines of bonuses. Hi Miles, I watched your webinar. It was great. I just wanted to claim the bonuses that you offered. Then drop an email to miles@milesmorecustomers.com. And forgive the confusion over the members customers thing. It's broadening the scope of people I work with. That's why it's customers. So miles@milesmorecustomers.com, and I will send you your bonuses. So that's it. Short and sweet web class for this evening. I hope you found it useful. What I will say is please do share this class with people that are in your business. Feel free to share the class. I'm happy for you to share it with people that you feel will watch it, that will make notes on it, that you feel will apply it, that are committed to growing and improving. And I look forward to speaking to you soon. So like I said, for your bonuses, drop me an email at miles@milesmorecustomers.com, and we'll get those. We'll get the session booked in, and I'll get those bonuses over to you. That's it for now. Hope you enjoyed the class, and I will see you soon. Take care. Goodbye.